Sitting next to me today is a 2016 Camaro SS, and today I'm going to be bringing you a performance review. Let's get right into the video. So what's under the hood of the Camaro SS? Well, this is a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 making 455 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque, and that's all mated to a rear-wheel drive system with an 8-speed automatic transmission. I gotta say, sounds really good. Alrighty, so driving the Camaro SS, honestly, the engine note of this car, no, it's not a manual, so you don't get that sweet rev match sound, but driving this car with the paddle shifters with the 8-speed automatic is so fun. And to start, I want to go over some of the things in this car that relate to the sportiness of it. You get 4 drive modes. You get touring, which is just your normal mode. You get sport, which is what I'm in currently. You get track mode, and then you get like a snow/wet mode. As for what's in front of you, it's just a standard analog tachometer and speedometer, and you have a pretty large size screen in the center. Kind of reminds me of how the Ford F-150s look when you go to like the mid package. And the screen tells you plenty of information, including your speed, tire pressure. This actually has cylinder deactivation, so it also talks about cylinder deactivation. It can either be a V8, or if you're being light on the throttle, it'll actually shut half the cylinders off and it'll be coming in line for a V4 and use a lot less gas. Speaking of gas mileage, is terrible. Average of 16 miles per gallon, which isn't the worst I've ever seen for a V8, but it's definitely not the best I've ever seen in a car. But yeah, gauge cluster has plenty of information. Driving position's pretty good. One thing I will say is that if you're at the lowest seating position in this vehicle, you cannot see your hood. Like in my Mustang, sitting in the lowest seating position, the windshield is so large that you're able to still see the top of your hood in the lowest seating position. But I have to be about halfway up. That way I can get my bearings, especially because I haven't been driving the car for that long, so I don't know how long the hood is mentally. But yeah, moving on to the driving of it. Downshift 2 gears, 3 gears. It honestly is so fun to drive. But driving it, one of my biggest things in these sports cars for back roads is how well it can go around corners. And surprisingly, the Camaro holds its own pretty well. Now this is just an SS, it's not like a ZL1, it doesn't have like the 1LE track package, so it's not going to have the best suspension and the best tires on it that the SS possibly can have, but it does handle its bends and its corners pretty well, a lot better than the Dodge Challenger does, and I would say it's about on par with what the Mustang does. As for tires, the Camaro SS comes with 245s in the front and 275s in the rear, something I wish the Mustang came standard with from the factory. Yes, you can still break the tires loose with those 275s, but wheel spin is decently controlled when you put your foot down from a stop, as you can see in the exhaust clip of the Camaro taking off. The independent 5-link suspension with twin tube shocks provide a sporty and stable ride. The Camaro doesn't feel harsh over bumps, but it's not a Rolls Royce, and if you hit a pothole, you'll definitely feel it. Regardless, the SS is a sports car, and it rides like one. It's one of the farthest things from a boat, and weight transfer is mitigated when you're hard on the throttle or hard on the brakes. So in layman's terms, it's a fun car to drive. And in a straight line, downshift a couple gears. This makes about peak horsepower, I believe, at around up in the 5,000s range. Now, another thing I really like about this, I disliked it about the Challenger, I liked it about this, and I like it about the Mustang, is how planted this feels at higher speeds. The Challenger felt kind of floaty, especially at higher speeds, and there was a lot of body roll around corners. But when it comes to how this handles, it's on par with where the Mustang is. They're just about the same, and they feel about the same going around corners. When you're going, let's say, if you were going 100 miles an hour in this vehicle, not which we're not, we're going 45 right now. If you were going 100 miles an hour in this vehicle, you would feel as if you were only going 60 or 70 because the suspension is so planted, you're so close to the ground, and the suspension is so tight that you're not getting that lift-off feeling like you would in cars with softer suspension. But other than that, I really like the way this car drives. I've never been a Chevy guy at all in my life. But now that I finally get to drive the Camaro, I do like it. And that is the Camaro SS. Honestly, great car to drive, really fun car to drive. So leave your comments down below what you think of it and how you feel about the Camaro SS. If you like this video, make sure you smash the like button down below. And if you want to see more from us, make sure you subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.